Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be talking about financial literacy. And financial literacy is all about understanding your finances and knowing how to maximize the money you have. And this is in terms of things like budgeting, saving, managing your debts. And saving for your future, for retirement. So let's talk about some of the key points we should take note. And one of them is living within your means. So it's always good to live within your means. Know what is the extent to which you can go. So let's say if you're moving from one state to another and you cannot afford to fly, it's always good take a bus. Or if you are flying and you cannot afford business class, just take economy class. If you are living in a 3-bedroom apartment that you cannot afford with your finances, it's always good to move to a 1-bedroom apartment, like live within your means. Don't take up extra expenses that you cannot afford with the amount of income you're getting. The other thing is we need to budget like a boss. So, and this is something that I came across recently about the 50, 30, and 20 rule. And this is 50% of your net income should go to your needs, 30% should go to your wants, and then 20% should go to savings. Yeah, so your needs are things like rent, basic needs, your utilities and your rent and your food. And then your wants are things like entertainment. You need to go somewhere, you need to visit so and so, you need to contribute some money somewhere. Those are the wants. And the 20% goes to savings. So you'll find that if you have this kind of arrangement, you will never leave out savings. And another thing is you need to pay yourself first. So pay yourself first. In case you have wants that you are thinking about or something comes up, someone has a wedding, you need to contribute, as something happened. Once you pay yourself first, you have already put your savings aside, so you will not touch that. So everything else that comes, you will get it financed from your 30%. So always pay yourself first to avoid inconveniences. Then another thing is always have that emergency fund. So emergency fund is like, you can have 3 months or 6 months of expenses saved. So you can open a separate account, have your 3 months or 6 months of expenses saved there. So in case of any future occurrences, let's say you lose a job or just something unexpected happens, you get sick, some health issues, at least you have those expenses saved already. Another thing is let's know our worth and ask for it. So know your worth, know how much you're worth. When you go to that job interview, or in case there is a review in your job and you're asking for a salary increment, so you should know your worth. And how do you know your worth? You know your worth by doing a lot of research, checking what is the average pay of someone in your position, what is the average pay of your company, the company size that you're working in. Like, do your research and also know your accomplishments. Like, what have I achieved? What am I strong at? What am I bringing to the table? So in such a case, you are able to negotiate for yourself confidently. You are able to advocate for yourself. So always do your research in order to know your worth. Manage our debt very strategically. And debts can be in form of credit card debts, other type of loans. It's always good to manage our debts. If we are paying just the minimum payment, we'll definitely have some interest charges. We'll have additional charges to our loans. So it's always good to be strategic about how we are managing it. Yeah, just know if I pay this amount, I'm not getting any additional charges on my loan or on my credit card debt. Yeah, so it's always good for us to stay informed. So another thing we can do is to maintain a good credit, and this is in the case of credit cards. So maintaining good credit is very good, especially when you want to buy a home, buy property. Yeah, it's important to have good credit. So yeah, previously I said need to manage the debt, and once you manage your debt, you're definitely going to have good credit and keep your usage below 30%, so you can have your utilization very low. Another thing we need to do is to keep learning. So keep learning. So financial literacy is a lifelong skill, and and we need to keep educating ourselves, like follow people who talk about financial literacy, subscribe to YouTube channels, and this podcast. Follow and listen to what people do to keep ourselves learning, because it's a long-term thing. Like, we need to keep educating ourselves. There are new opportunities that come up, new saving options, new investment options. So it's always good to keep learning and to educate ourselves. Then another thing we can do is to set up auto savings, auto payments. Yeah, because a lot of times you find people forgetting. Let's say if it's making a payment, or making a payment, and then you end up incurring late fee charges. So if you can set up these auto payments, it will help you to at least avoid these late fees and additional charges. If it's savings, you can set up an auto saving. So at a certain time, if it's per month or per week, at least some money can be transferred to your savings account. And by this way, you will not forget to save. So it's always good to plan for life and not plan for lifestyle. Plan for life. Life is long term. Lifestyle is short term. So yeah. Bye bye. See you in the next video.